Hey, what's up? So I'm going to show you a scenario where there is a component in your application that dispatches so many actions, and this might lead to some performance issues, and I'm going to show you how we can solve it. So I have this component here that on each change it will dispatch an action, and that action will lead to a reducer that updates the sticks property in my redux state. So it's fast, nothing wrong about it, and it works fine because the state is very small. I only have the sticks property inside my redux state, but let me now make it really big. So I will have 4 arrays now inside my state, and each one of them containing 2000 elements, and each element is an object with a name, property, and a job. So now it's really big. So let's refresh and take a look at the state. So as you can see, each one of them is 2000 element array, and each one is containing an object with a name and a job. So each time now the state changes, or each time now an action got dispatched, the whole state will be created again with the new values. So you can see that this will be slow. So I will start typing as fast as I can, and as you can see, the website is stuck. Nothing happens. We only see this count of the warnings appears. This is for each action I actually dispatched. A warning from the Redux library will be actually displayed here, telling me that this is very slow and stuff like that. So it's really slow. I actually start typing again. Nothing happens until maybe all the actions have been dispatched. So it's really slow and very laggy. Yeah, now everything got replaced in the UI, or got affected in the UI. So yeah, a possible way to fix this is to delay dispatching the action, right? So we can use a library called useDebounce. I'll put a link in the description. I really liked it. So I'm going to import this useDebounce callback from it, and here is my component that I just showed you, this one here, and I will put it at the top, and here is the input that I have, and on each change I dispatch the action creator that makes the reducer updates the text state in my Redux. That's what I'm doing on each change. So I just want to delay this part, right? Because this is what makes it slow. So const, I will create a variable function, called on or debounced on change. This will be a callback function, or it accepts the 3 things. The first one is the callback function. It will execute. So like this will accept a value, and I will just dispatch the new value to the state. Now it accepts a millisecond. So this is the timer to execute this callback function. So after 250 seconds, it will be executed. In the end of the video, I will explain it in detail how this works. But for now, this is it. So after 250 milliseconds, from the last call, it will be invoked again. So this is it. The third one is the argument, or the option, sorry. You can read about it in the documentation. I will just show you the basics. How we can solve this kind of scenario. In your case, it might not be an input. It might be something else. So now to use this will return an object. You will come here, replace the old dispatch, and put the object name here, then dot callback, and pass to it the value. This value here would be passed to the function that you passed here. So this value will be this one. So let's go and test it. You'll see now the number of actions that being dispatched is very less than the first time. So I will start typing as fast as I can, and actually I started, and as you can see, it's not laggy at all. Everything I type appear, and still there is no action that got dispatched. Only when I stop for 250 milliseconds. I will stop, and we got it. So it's only one action. I mean, think about how much this is better. So yeah, I highly recommend that you check it out, and it will solve a lot of things, especially when you have some components that dispatches action on a scroll, or when being viewed, or stuff like that. This is very powerful, and it's very nice. So you can now stop the video. I'm done. but if you want to continue, I will explain to you as much as I can how this function might work. So the first time I seen actually this kind of function in the Lodash library. I seen a function called debounce. This just delays execution for a function, and it's really good when you want to limit the number of times the onChange or onClick functions have been called on a specific maybe element on your HTML. And the way it works, this debounce function, let's say here, one second, let me make it dark, my eyes hurt. Let's say here each brackets represents a function invoke. So in a normal way, when you invoke the same function 6 times, like if you maybe you put it like 6 lines next to it under each other, so call back, call back, call back, call back, like this, it will be executed 6 times, right? If you use debounce on this function, what debounce will do, it will see that you executed the first one and you have 250 millisecond delay time. It's the waiting time. So you call this one, and this is the time between each invoke for your function. So let's say this is 100 millisecond. So yeah, you invoke this one, then 100 millisecond passed, you invoke this one. So what debounce will do, it won't invoke both of them. It won't invoke, the first one, because the interval time between the first one and the second invoke is 100 millisecond, and you want 250 millisecond. So the second one, let's say 200 millisecond before the next invoke, so it won't execute this one. And it will keep doing this. It will compare the time between 2 invokes, and if it's not equal to the time or above the time that you specified, it won't invoke it until, for example, this last one here, I have maybe 300 millisecond. So now it will go and execute the next function call. So this is it. This is basically what they are doing. I hope this was clear. But you should definitely read the documentation here if you are confused about it. So yeah, again, it will just calculate the time between each invoke for the same function, and if it's equal or more to the time that you specified, it will invoke it. So that's why it's different from the set timeout. So yeah, I hope this was useful, and I will put a link in the description for the useDebounce hook, and yeah, thank you, bye.